Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. Facing a shortfall in their improvement project budget, the county is seeking a solution. Those details coming up. A scheduling conflict now pushing back a Matagorda County murder trial. What's next in this developing case? Plus, the latest as the fight to release the Epstein files continues.
That's June 13th. We are starting out the day in the 60s all around the area. And if you're a fan of that, we got another morning with plenty of sunny, warm afternoons. And we'll have all that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Welcome to your Tuesday morning. It's feeling a little cooler.
It is.
I'm going to be eyeing those tall fall boots when I go shopping this week.
Yes. We're all getting close to that. What's that drink from Starbucks? The pumpkin spice?
Oh, pumpkin spice. Yeah. Which has no pumpkin in it, actually.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Very interesting story. Well, we're going to have maybe more on that some other time because this morning, that's right. Let's all bask in these lovely temperatures. We're looking live in Victoria. We also have a nice, pretty sunrise. Look at all the colors out there. But let's look at the temperatures. It's 65 right now in Victoria, and the dew point's 3 degrees off at 62, bringing us a relative humidity of 90%. But I want to let y'all know that's actually kind of dry because our dew point is in the 60s, low 60s actually, and also because the cool, dry air is still sinking on top of us with the northeasterly wind, which we'll look at in a second. You can see everybody is in the 60s this morning, except for, unfortunately, our southern Crossroads counties. Y'all are sitting at about 70, maybe low and mid 70s down in Calhoun County. So y'all are kind of outside of the party. As where everyone else, you can see Texas and East Texas, Piney Woods area, they're in the 50s this morning. And they're actually in the 40s in the Great Lakes region, if you believe that. They just had another front. But us, we had our front yesterday morning. That's why our winds are still out of the northeast. And our skies are pretty clear, allowing for that radiational cooling. So if you're sending your kids out the door this morning, grab the sunglasses. It'll be sunny. We'll have those details next.
Victoria County Commissioners are amending a prior request for certificates of obligation intended to fund county improvements. Right now, the county is looking at a $12.65 million price point for all of their projects, including finding a new location for the elections office, courthouse improvements, and improvements to the second floor of the Heritage Building. The total amount of the COs must be approved before the final budget approval on September 29th. The county currently has an outstanding debt of over $30 million. They're also proposing issuing COs to Citizens Medical Center for hospital improvements. However, the hospital would be responsible for paying back that debt. Unlike general obligation bonds, certificates of obligation can be issued without voter approval unless 5% of qualified voters within the jurisdiction petition for an election on the spending in question. A new delay in the murder case against Fernando Acosta Jr., a trial that was set to begin Monday. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has the latest from Matagorda County.
The state of Texas is asking for a motion of continuance because of a scheduling conflict with the Corpus Christi firearms expert David Curtis. Matagorda County District Attorney's Office investigator Justin Kirk has reached out to Curtis to inform him that the trial is set for this Monday morning. Amid Curtis's scheduling conflict, Curtis has been on administrative leave since March of this year. Investigator Kirk reached out to the Texas Department of Public Safety Crime Laboratory Firearms Division to possibly retest the evidence, and if expedited, a report could be complete in 90 days. Acosta's attorneys aren't taking any part of the continuance and stated they're ready for the trial to start. On Wednesday, September 3rd, Judge Fortenberry granted the motion of continuance for the state. Acosta was indicted on May 21st, 2021 for the murder of Amanda Johnson. Her remains were found in a burned SUV in Matagorda County. Johnson was found in midfield by Texas Rangers in the state fire marshal's office. Amanda Johnson was a single mother of two. She previously worked at a health club and was an elementary school teacher at Victoria ISD. She was just 38 years old. A status conference will be held Wednesday, December 3rd at 9 a.m. at the Matagorda County Courthouse. Reporting from Matagorda County, Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
A Victoria ISD principal is accused of driving while intoxicated. Roland Elementary's principal Sarah Young was arrested Sunday night after a single vehicle wreck on North Navarro. Police say she failed a field sobriety test at the scene. The district confirms they're aware of the arrest, but they aren't saying if she's been placed on leave or what that means for her role at the school. The City Council of Victoria is holding a special meeting this evening. On the agenda, the council will hold a public hearing over the city's proposed budget and tax rate for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. The proposed budget for the city is $255,286,194, and the proposed tax rate is 47 cents per $100 of property valuation. After the public hearing, the city will look to approve the ordinances and the budget will take effect on October 1st. Also on the agenda is a work session for the Water System Review Committee, which was created after a citywide boil notice in July. The meeting will be at 5 p.m. in council chambers at 107 West Walnut Street. Now to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Some of the files turned over to Congress by the Epstein estate have now been released. They include a suggestive birthday note to Epstein, allegedly signed by Donald Trump, though the president denies writing or signing it. Here's ABC's Lionel Moyes.
Back after the Republican-led House Oversight Committee said it's obtained the so-called birthday book from Jeffrey Epstein's estate through a subpoena. The book, a collection of messages given to Epstein for his 50th birthday, includes this one allegedly from President Trump, which the president has denied is from him. Democrats on the committee posting the letter online with a crudely drawn outline of a woman's body around lines including, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that?" And at the bottom, this: "A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." The alleged letter had a typed signature, Donald J. Trump, and underneath, handwritten in thick marker, Donald. When the image was first reported by the Wall Street Journal in July, President Trump called it fake and sued the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion.
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name.
Following yesterday's release, the White House press secretary saying President Trump did not draw this picture and he did not sign it. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, who's filed a petition to force a vote on releasing the Justice Department's Epstein files, calls it a distraction.
It doesn't prove anything. Having a birthday card from Trump doesn't help the survivors and the victims. It doesn't name an additional new person.
The so-called birthday book was compiled by Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Ghislaine Maxwell spoke about the book in a recent interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who used to be Trump's personal lawyer.
I coordinated the putting together of the book. And in some instances, I called people to ask them to contribute.
Saying she didn't remember if Trump contributed a message to the book. The book was given to Epstein in 2003, 3 years before he was convicted of sex crimes. Contributing to the book is not evidence of wrongdoing or knowledge of it. All 212 sitting Democrats and 4 Republicans in the House have now signed that petition to force a floor vote compelling the Justice Department to publicly release all of the Jeffrey Epstein files, now 2 signatures shy of the 218 needed. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
A celebration for the life of the late Calhoun County Precinct 1 Commissioner David Hall will be held at 10 a.m. Thursday at the English Lutheran Church in Victoria. Hall died in his sleep last Tuesday morning at the age of 54. Hall began serving the county in 2017 after a career as a sheriff's deputy. Judge Vern Lisi described him as a seasoned leader who cares deeply about his community. Over his 9 years, Hall played a key role in projects like the county's centralized dispatch system, beach erosion education, and even upgrading local playgrounds. He leaves behind his wife and children and a legacy of service in Calhoun County. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:40 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A new project aims to tackle a reoccurring problem, what drivers can expect in the weeks ahead.
The Supreme Court handing President Trump a major victory in his immigration crackdown. I'm Nicole D'Antonio with the details as more raids are set to continue across the country.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be a not too bad of a day today, I'm thinking. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how warm I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. For your Texas Taco Tuesday, I hope y'all are ready for another not too bad of a day, because the weather's going to be pretty similar to yesterday, Monday. In fact, looking at yesterday's temperatures, you can see highs only got up to about 90 degrees for most of the area. Some of us got up into the mid-90s. That's in Calhoun County, because that's because y'all are surrounded by the warm Gulf water. But for today, we're looking at about the same, maybe about 2 or 3 degrees warmer than that. So looking at low 90s, maybe a couple in our western counties, possibly mid 90s today. And that'll happen underneath some real sunny skies. And this whole time I'm pressing play, and you can see real sunny on your future tracker today. Maybe a few passing clouds trying to form between 3 to 5 or 6 p.m. today. Otherwise, it's going to be real sunny. So make sure you got your sunglasses packed. Otherwise, overnight tonight, we'll stay pretty clear for our skies, and we'll stay actually clear and sunny for just about the entire week, so keep your sunglasses on handy. Otherwise, that beaming sun today going to heat us up a little bit. Looking at temperatures 9 a.m. in the morning, mid 70s. Noontime, looking at mid 80s for most. But in the afternoon, I'm looking for a high of about 93 here in Victoria, which is about a degree above where we're supposed to be, looking at your almanac. It's also about 10 degrees below our record set back in 1940. But temperatures for everyone else, thinking 93 Victoria, 93 Cuero, 92 Port Lavaca, and also 93 in Hallettsville. But here's the fun part. We have one more morning where we see lows dipping into the 60s before the Gulf air mass returns. We're back in the 70s, or we're warm for the rest of the week. We'll look at that next.
This morning, the Supreme Court clears the way for the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. It comes as the White House plans more raids across the city of Chicago. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, immigration raids are set to resume in Los Angeles after a ruling from the Supreme Court lifted a lower court order restricting them. The mayor of Los Angeles responding to the ruling, saying it threatens personal freedom in the U.S.
I want the entire nation to hear me when I say this isn't just an attack on the people of Los Angeles. This is an attack on every person in this city and in every city in our country.
The Supreme Court divided, with the conservative majority saying demographic realities in the region justify the agent's actions. Justice Brett Kavanaugh saying such factors taken together can constitute at least reasonable suspicion of a legal presence in the United States. Justice Sonia Sotomayor dissenting, writing, "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job." It comes as President Trump ramps up his threats to send National Guard troops to Chicago to crack down on crime. The Department of Homeland Security announcing Immigration and Customs Enforcement has already launched an expanded operation in the city called Midway Blitz.
We want to get them out of the city, make the public safe, help with national security, and to make sure that everybody in this community is safe, no matter what they feel or how their political views.
Governor J.B. Pritzker writing on social media, once again, this isn't about fighting crime. That requires support and coordination, yet we've experienced nothing like that over the past several weeks. President Trump posted on social media saying that people of Illinois should band together and demand protection from what he calls a crime problem in Chicago. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you believe immigration raids improve public safety in communities? All right, 75% of you say yes, they help reduce crime. 24% of you say no, they create fear and distrust. And 1% of you say you're unsure. And we have a comment here from Scott of Victoria. He says he's all for legal immigration. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. A Victoria County road will see improvements to reduce flooding issues. Victoria County Precinct 4 Commissioner Kenneth Sexton says crews will be cleaning ditches and installing more than 50 new culverts along Old Highway Road, west of Telfner to help stop the frequent flooding. Sexton is asking everyone to be patient and drive carefully while the work is underway. These upgrades should make a rainy commute easier for drivers.
The speed limit in the work zone area. The contractor is going to move signs with where he's working, and we'll just ask in that zone to slow down to 25 miles an hour just because there'll be people and equipment. It shouldn't hamper, driving or anything.
And says the work will begin Monday and last about 4 to 5 weeks. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's 6:47 on our Tuesday morning, still to come on Sunrise. We hear from the Golden Crescent Habitat for Humanity.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast just a few moments ago, and you saw lots and lots of sunshine coming our way over the next several days. So make sure you got your sunglasses packed. Well, why don't you? Because look at that. There's pretty much just about every day it's going to be sunny out there. Maybe mostly sunny for Thursday and Friday. That'll be 9/11 and 9/12. Well, we're actually going to pick up a little bit of moisture coming out of the Gulf. That's going to be represented by your winds. You can see they're coming back out of the southeast, and that's what's going to bring our low temperatures back into the 70s. So I hope y'all enjoy the nice cool morning, the last cool morning, coolish morning coming our way tomorrow. Otherwise, for the rest of the week, that sunshine and the southerly winds returning, that'll bring our highs back into the mid 90s. So looking at right about where we're supposed to be this time of year, but right now, also this time of year, we are like right now, we're in the peak of hurricane season, y'all. From 1851 to 2018, that's what this graph is showing you. This is the activity, hurricane activity throughout the year. And you can see right now, this is the most active time of the year. And if you're looking for some good news, we still have nothing really active happening right now. But since yesterday, I've added this little green bubble right here in the Gulf for very low confidence because only one is showing something forming here between late next week into next weekend, the 17th, the 21st of September. And that's going to form off of the cool front that passed yesterday. So we'll watch that closely. Otherwise, rest of the Atlantic is quiet. Let's keep it that way. And the Pacific, that's a different story, but we don't have to worry about that. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
I'm now joined by Lisa Jones with Golden Crescent Habitat for Humanity, here to talk to us about an important event for veterans coming up this September 11th.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having us.
Well, it's great to have y'all, and I know you do very special, or you have very special programs and offerings for veterans,
yes, ma'am,
helping them get into new homes.
Yes, we do. We are not for new homes, but for repairs. And we've received another round of Texas Veterans Commission funding, so we're looking for vets to fulfill those spots and help them with, all of the things that they haven't been able to keep up with on their own.
And it can be really difficult living here on the coast for anyone.
Absolutely.
Trying to keep up with those repairs after, a few hurricanes come through. So I know the veterans really appreciate that.
Yes, we're still seeing the remnants of Hurricane Harvey and, trying to help with roofs and windows and siding and all of the things, But they're very, very grateful, and this program is so generous, and it does allow for a lot of those needs to be met. So we're happy to be doing that.
And talk to us about this event happening this week on September 11th.
Yes, on September 11th, we are having an event called Remember, Repair, Restore. And it's for our veterans and our first responders. And we're going to just have a day of fellowship on our site on Navarro. And there's going to be raffles, and there's going to be some furniture demonstrations on how to repair furniture and refinish furniture and all kinds of fun stuff like that. There's a raffle. We're going to raffle off a beautiful table that was made actually by my daughter, and things just to honor our first responders and our veterans.
Well, excellent. Well, let's go ahead and remind people about what time it starts.
It starts at 9 a.m. and it's going to go till 2 p.m. on site.
9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And when you say on-site, is that the Golden Crescent Habitat for Humanity staff office, or is it one of the thrift stores?
Excellent question. It's going to be based out of the Restore.
At the Restore.
So we're at 4103 North Navarro, sandwiched in between Grandy's and Brake Check.
Ooh, love both of those places.
Yes.
So, and that's starting at 9:30.
9 a.m.
9
to 2 p.m.
a.m. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Thursday, September 11th. That's right.
Yes.
And it'll all happen at the Habitat Restore.
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa.
It was my pleasure.
And coming up, don't go anywhere. We'll have news to know before you go. The American Academy of Family Physicians has become the third major medical society to veer away from federal guidelines for COVID-19 vaccines this fall. The group announced Monday it's recommending vaccination for all children ages 6 months to 23 months and all adults 18 and older. In June, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said COVID-19 vaccines were no longer recommended for healthy children and pregnant women. South Korea's top diplomat is in the U.S. today at a tense moment for relations between the countries. Foreign Affairs Minister Cho Hyun is visiting Washington as about 300 South Korean nationals are detained in Georgia. Korean Air says it could start flying home the detainees tomorrow. The raid is causing outrage in South Korea. Its businesses are investing billions in the U.S., much at the behest of President Donald Trump. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can watch it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And y'all better be enjoying that sunrise right now because it's going to be coming a little later, right? As we get closer to fall, winter, Parker?
That's right. I think you're correct on that, Carolina. Yes, the days do start getting shorter. And actually, I think this month we lose around 40 minutes of daylight here in September. But before we lose any daylight, let's gain some. Look at this beautiful sunrise coming over us this morning. Look at all the pink in the sky. Look at, I think that's yellow right there even with the sun. But right now, if you're all headed out the door for any early morning errands, enjoy it. It is beautiful out there. We got a nice sunrise. We're starting out the day nice and cool, 64 degrees. Humidity's not terrible. I know it says it's high humidity, but it's a little drier dew point, so we're not as humid as we usually are. Temperatures for everyone, we're all nice out there. 60s, low 60s even in our northern counties. Got some low 70s in our southern counties this morning, but the rest of Texas is following suit. Nice in the 60s, even 50s in East Texas. But today, looking at lots of sunshine, so make sure you got your sunglasses packed. That'll heat us up to the low 90s for highs. Thinking 92 in Port Lavaca, maybe 93. Same thing in Victoria, 93, maybe 94. And the same thing in Cuero, 93, maybe 94 as well. Looking at mid-80s at noontime. That's not too bad if you ask me. But for the rest of the week, southerly winds will return out of the Gulf, and that'll put us on a slow warming trend. Lows will be back in the low 70s by later this week, and highs back in the mid-90s.
All right, thank you, Parker.
Of course.
And thank y'all for being with us this morning. Be sure to join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Tuesday.